Hey everybody, what's up? Neil from Double F Outdoors. We're out here on our gravel pit lake that we found out has bass in it this year, and I just wanted to, we've been trying to figure out some cool things to do with the channel here to start the year. Well, to keep the year going, I guess, here over the winter. And one of the things I really wanted to do, it's like the week of Thanksgiving right now, so it's kind of cold, so I'm not sure how well this is going to go, but I wanted to do a Ned Rig fishing how-to. This is a bait that's really helped me a lot on my tour season this year. Finesse fishing is really just starting to become kind of my thing, like kind of up my alley. And today I want to talk about this little dude right here. This is a 1/5 ounce Z-Man Ned Rig head. I love the Z-Man Ned Rig head, it's my favorite one. They make weedless ones, they have like a little weed wire guard, I like that too. But I'm throwing this on a spinning combo, obviously, and I think a lot of times this scares people that it's on a spinning combo, but never fear, because we actually have a little bigger of a setup, if I can remember where I put it in the boat, right here. This is a 1/4 ounce. I throw it on a bait caster. Same type deal, same presentation, just a little bigger profile. So if you're scared of the spinning rod and the spinning reel combo, never fear, because there's different ways to do this. But like I said, I want to talk about the spinning combo, and we'll pick up the bigger setup a little bit too. You fish it the same way regardless. The gear I'm using, just real quick, we'll go over it real quick. Enigma, this is the Gen 2, the Phenom series. This is a 611 medium. It's got a fast action tip. I got my line tangled up. Fast action tip though, it's perfect. You guys have seen some video clips of me fishing with it up at the river this year. Favorite rod, I'm still working on my other Enigma reel that's not quite, I messed it up. It's not Enigma's fault. I messed it up. I got line stuck in it. So this is just a replacement reel for right now. But I'm throwing it on P-line, 20-pound X Braid. Definitely use Braid on your spinning combos. That's a tip I got from somebody that I really look up to in the fishing world this year, and it has really made a difference. So we're gonna go ahead and tie on, we've already tied on the head. I'm just gonna show you what we're fishing with here today. And then we're gonna go up to the spot where I think it's really gonna be key. This is a Z-Man Finesse TRD. You guys can find this online, any tackle store. I'll link links down below where you can get it online. Great Christmas present, by the way. Christmas season's just around the corner. Watch our Christmas buying guides that are gonna be coming out here, or have already started coming out. I don't know kind of when all my content's coming out yet, but that's it. That is what makes this rig so infuriating, I think, some days. It's so simple, it's ridiculous. It really makes me go, really, that's what it is. This is it. It's a green pumpkin. I've got some other colors. Green pumpkin is the color that I use the most. I love the green pumpkin color. And you'll see on this is the Big TRD, also in green pumpkin. This is the Big TRD, so you can see a little difference. And then they make a giant TRD. I don't have any of those with me. But that would be, I have not had to go that big yet. It's huge. I mean, it's massive. But that's it, guys. Like, literally, that's all we're throwing. I mean, it literally looks like the simplest thing in the world, and it's probably because, honestly, it is. This is a rig, like, if you're wanting to catch more fish, if you're wanting to catch bigger fish, better quality keepers. Here, let me move. This is Ted's boat. We're in Ted's boat. Thanks, Ted. Before we beach Ted's boat here. Let's get it. Oh, back. The wind's kind of starting to pick up a little bit, blowing us toward the back corner, which might make fishing the spot I want to fish a little difficult. So if you're a beginning fisherman and you're looking for, you know, a way to catch more fish, maybe something that's simple, I highly recommend this lure. Whether you're throwing it on a bait caster or a spinning rod, this rig is so simple. You'll catch more fish, you'll catch bigger fish, and you'll absolutely love it. I went to the river for the BFL tournament. Like I said, I caught 20 fish in about 3 or 4 hours on this rig. I caught 4 keepers on this rig. So this definitely is something, if you're a beginning fisherman or an experienced fisherman, you've never gotten into the finesse side of it, definitely look into this bait. It's very versatile. I'll show you guys the way I fish it, and I'll show you some of the other ways that other guys have fished it. But let's go ahead, and we're gonna put this on, and then we're gonna go fish. All right, guys. So like I said, we're out here on our gravel pit lake, a couple acres, really deep. We weren't sure if there were even any bass in it, and then I caught a real nice one, what, in July or something I was out here, Ted, probably? Haven't had a chance to come back and fish it, and by the time we finally got time, I mean, we've been hunting and all sorts of stuff. It's, you know, it's November, it's Thanksgiving. We missed even the fall bite, probably. But this is kind of the stretch I wanted to fish with this Ned rig. So I'm gonna show you guys how I fish it, and then I'll show you some other ways some guys fish it. the best thing I can come up with, that guys I've talked to, that this bait imitates the best, is it really looks like a feeding minnow kind of on the bottom. It's, you know, its nose obviously is going to go down because it's a jig head. So the head of the bait is going to be on the water, on the bottom, so your bait's going to be sticking up. And I think it really does a great job of kind of imitating that look, you know, a look of like a minnow kind of feeding on the bottom on something. And like I said, I don't know what it is about this bait, but bass just go crazy for it. And so like you can see, I'm literally fishing it kind of like a jig. I normally don't twitch my jigs this much, but like I said, when I really feel like that's what this bait imitates the best. So I try to keep it moving, because if you've ever seen those little bait fish feed or move around, that's kind of what they're doing. So like I was saying, so since that's what I'm trying to impersonate, I bounce it a lot more than I typically do. You know, a jig, you get a couple big bounces and you let it sit. You know, this I'm kind of constantly moving back towards the boat. You know, I'll kind of let it sit for a second, but I'm constantly bouncing this thing and bringing it back. Look at all those birds. Bringing it back in. And like I said, I think that it makes it really look like, especially the Finesse one, makes it look like really small type bait. So, like I'm saying, just real nice. Bouncing it. Kind of constantly having it come in. We're on a point, so I'm hitting dirt. It's getting me excited. The wind's picking up too. The wind was not this bad when we started this little adventure. But like I said, a real simple rig. You know, if you're just getting started in fishing, or even if you're just starting as a finesse fisherman, it's real simple to learn, real simple to use. One of the advantages I like throwing it with a spinning rod and with like P-line, the braid and stuff, is the amount, like the distance I can cast. Like, you know, we're kind of close to this spot right now. We're kind of close on this point, closer than I'd like. But like I said, I'm struggling kind of with the trolling motor. This is not my boat. This boat is really used for bow fishing. So normally somebody's got this controller in their hand, which isn't a big deal. You know, ooh, there was a thump. I can't tell. That was a thump though. Like slacklined it. I could have hit a carp. There's a bunch of carp in here, so I could have hit a carp. But, you know, normally I would like to be a little farther back. The wind's pushing us this way too, which isn't helping me very much as I struggle with this thing. But, you know, using it on the spinning rod is going to let you make just better distance on your cast, which is going to keep you off the spot. Like we said, we didn't even know there was really any bass in here until this year. So all the fish in here, the carp, everything, are real finicky, because before my wife and I got married and moved out here, nobody really got out on this lake. Ted and I have struggled even bow fishing because of it. The fish are just super finicky to trolling motors and stuff. So if I had a trolling motor I was used to, that I'd operated a bunch, you know, I'd be farther off the spot just because of my casting ability with the spinning combo. And I really like using that bigger one, like as a power setup. Kind of flipping like stuff a little closer in. I flip that smaller Ned Rig quite a bit. I mean, the bigger Ned Rig quite a bit. But like, as you guys can tell, I mean, this is not hard. This is real simple. If this is just something you've never done because you didn't know, I mean, this is it. I mean, it's not much more complicated than this. So we'll make a few more casts, because this is kind of a hot, this little stretch here is where I've had some bites back in July. Also compared to that side, a lot shallower over here. We'll have to do a video on this lake sometime. It's It's insane. Mary and I have talked, we've wanted to do a fishing video out here, and we've just never kind of gotten around to doing a good one. This is a gravel pit lake. So, I mean, this thing could be, what, 100 foot deep probably out in the middle. I mean, it's deep from when they harvested all the gravel out of it. And the other thing is right now when we're doing this so late in the year, the water is crazy low. If Mary can pan all this stuff that we're seeing, all this, the little brush, that's normally under 5 or 6 feet of water, probably. So, you know, we'll have to do a video on this lake this spring or summer, because it'd be really good. But kind of fishing these points, like I said, as you guys can see on this stretch, it's not as steep here, it's not as deep as it is over there. We'll have to shoot over there real quick, and before we put the boat away, show you guys how steep the walls are. So this is where I had a lot of bites this July when I was messing around as Ted was bow fishing out the back. That was funny. I wish we would have had cameras on for that, but this is it. I mean, it's a, you know, when you're fishing prime time, like when it's not cold like it is now, I mean, you'll catch a bunch of fish, you get on them. The other good thing that's kind of cool about this, it's multi-species. I've caught crappie on this. I've caught a pike on this. And this is it. I mean, there's nothing, I mean, you can fish it however you want. This is the way I found best to use it. Just, I mean, as you can see, I mean, it's not hard. It is not a hard rig to throw at all. Man, I wish all that stuff was underwater. So now, I'll go ahead and show you while we're in this little cove. Some other ways some other guys fish this. So you can fish it like a typical like Texas rigged worm, where you just kind of, you know, Texas rig, you know, you throw it out and you let it sink, and then you can do that. That's one of the ways I see some guys fish it. Some guys, and I'll do this sometimes if the fish are kind of up, like at the top, maybe feeding on bait fish, I'll almost fish it like a swim bait. Just keep it high in the water column, bouncing it, giving it a little movement, kind of keeping it going. Guys do that. I've seen some guys do like what I call like a stop and kill method. So they'll kind of drag it, and then they'll stop it, they'll let it fall. That's not really a Texas rig because it's kind of aggressive and they just kind of let it fall. I've seen some guys that'll just straight reel it real slow on the bottom. People talk about what your favorite bait is, like if you can only fish with one bait. And a lot of pros, and myself included, we would say a jig, because it's so versatile. I can flip it, I can pitch it, I can throw it around rocks, I can throw it in grass, I can swim it, I can do multiple things with it. This is kind of the same thing. One of the things about this rig, reason why I stayed away from it was I never thought it would do well in grass or even rocky areas, and I was wrong. Now in the rocks, you're gonna lose a couple, but you lose baits, all kinds of baits in the rocks. But this is a fish killer on the rocks, guys. I mean, it is insane how it can catch them on the rocks. It can catch them in the grass. I've gone with my dad and I've used this around grass. And like I said, I think it does a great job imitating bait fish. But the other thing, and I've told my wife this, or even if you're just fishing a high pressured lake, this thing right here, I forgot to mention I've got a leader on it. This is 8-pound P-line CX, this little jig head. This will catch those fish that are not gonna bite anything else. This bait is perfect for catching those finicky fish that have been fished a lot. And so, you know, you talk about guys fishing for fish at the top of the water column, at the bottom of the water column. This is catching an entirely different kind of fish. This is catching the third category of fish that normally wouldn't bite anything. And it's just got such a crazy presentation, and it's just so different, I think, than a lot of things guys are throwing today, that it catches them. It really does. And so I wish there's like more to this video than this, but like my wife can tell you, like, this is it. Like, this is literally, she's manning the camera right now and she's nodding her head. This is it. I mean, this is how you fish a Ned rig. It's not crazy. I mean, it's not crazy. This is not one of those things that, you know, and I think another thing we talked about fishing around the rocks, this bait is really easy to get unsnagged. You just pop it out. A lot of times it will come dislodged. So, I mean, you know, it's a fish killer, for sure. I mean, it really catches them. Now, real quick, I want to I want to focus on this next stretch. I'll go ahead and pull this out before we get to the good stuff. Look at all that juice. Look at all that brush. Things gonna be underwater this spring. We're gonna smoke them. So this is my, like I talked about in the beginning, this is my kind of bigger setup. I call it my power setup. And what I love to do with this, like I said, is I'll pitch it just like a jig. You know, I kind of use it when I'm around some docks or I'm kind of trying to be like specific. Not that the little one doesn't do it, but I fish the little one more. And I'll use this at times if I'm looking for a bigger bite, trying to upgrade a couple fish I've caught or something. You know, it's a bigger profile. And see, I can still cast it with this bait caster. It's a 1/4 of an ounce. You know, so it's kind of make your pick. I do prefer the little one just because I feel like it does get unsnagged a little better. I feel like you can catch some nice fish on both of them, but I like the castability of the smaller one on the spinning rod. And the only other thing on this, it's a little different, but on that spinning rod, I'll try to put some clips of my regional video in. You know, with that finesse setup, especially when you're finesse fishing, it is not a big hook set. You know, with this you can, because it's a, you know, this is a finesse tactic, but I mean, you've got that real big heavy hook, almost like it's a regular worm hook. So you can really lay into them with this. I mean, you can reel down and you can give a big old hook set. With that, you can't. You know, finesse fishing, that tiny hook, you really need it to cinch in to the fish. So I've told people that one of the #1 tips, I've started catching a lot more fish since I realized this, with that spinning combo, if you've got a bite and you think you've got it, you're just gonna reel up and kind of pull up at the same time. It's not a set and whale on them. So guys, I hope this video has been helpful. I feel like I kind of rambled a little bit, but I mean, this is really a simple rig. Like if you're looking for a way to switch up the way you fish, change up the way you fish, a way that's gonna catch more fish, this is one of the easiest ways to do it. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we'll do more of these videos in the future. Now that we know there's fish in here, we're gonna be able to do some tutorial videos. We'll do a video on fishing this lake and kind of show you some of the baits and the techniques that work. But guys, other than that, we'll see you guys on the next one. We'll see you guys next time. Mary, give them a fist bump.